What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another spectacular, I can't use enough adjectives to stroke our own egos. Welcome to another episode of Off the Couch Boxing. Your number one, your premier boxing and fight game podcast, man. I'm your host, Rexx Ruger, along with the Nicaraguan Nightmare, the Alexis Arguello puppet.
And I'm your other host, Frank Benji's, back with another episode. 2 on my birthday today, folks. My Bills just took the fucking loss to Philly in overtime.
Yeah. At the time of this recording, we just saw David Benavidez whoop Boo Boo Andrade. Doesn't even matter what his name is anymore. Got his ass whooped. Yep. Congratulations, David Benavidez, who I don't want to put the proverbial cart before the horse, but who we are looking at as a potential guest, folks. So stay tuned. Always great surprises and killer content coming your way, man.
Oh man, if we get the Mexican monster, David Benavidez, though, that's gonna get me out a little bit.
Woo! Yeah, we're big fans here at Off the Couch Boxing, man. We love him, man. We love the monster. And today on your birthday, humbled with the presence of the great James Lights Out Tony, which will be airing soon.
Yeah.
Amazing content coming your way. Great content up there today. Just put our bro up there today, Chan the Man Thonson. Go check this kid out, man. He's going to be making some serious noise in that 135-pound division, man. Y'all put your big names out in front there like Shakur and Keyshawn, all these guys, man, but this guy's going to come along and steal the show.
Great, well-spoken guy, too.
Loved him. Yeah, insightful young man. Great to hear his perspectives on the game. Always nice to hear that kind of
yeah, he was very classed on the fight game. He had a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, he kicked some knowledge for sure.
Even about other fighters and other fights and things.
And here's our guest now. So quit bumping your gums, will you? For God's sakes. God's sakes, we just can never keep you from bumping your gums.
Yo.
Let's get the champ in here. Where is he? There he is. What's up, man?
What's up, champ?
Hey, listen, man, I got to ask you right off the rip, though, man. If your brother is Hasim Rahman Jr., what is the significance or the meaning, I should say, of the Sharif at the beginning?
Okay, so my father's name is Hasim Sharif Rahman Sr.
Okay.
My brother's Hasim Sharif Rahman Jr., and I'm Sharif Hasim Rahman, the first one.
Okay.
So that's all. It's, my middle name is their first name. Their first name is my middle name.
So it's kind of like a James and Delvin Cook situation.
Yeah.
They got the reverse names.
Yeah.
But at least it's not like George Foreman with 5 sons naming them all George, though. I mean, that gets a little weird.
Right.
That's a little strange. Hey, so listen, man. Well, first of all, man, at the time of this recording, we were just talking before you came on here. We just saw a great fight card last night, man. What was your take on the fights we saw last night?
Man, I loved the fights last night. It was very inspiring, and because I saw in the undercard, somebody came up with in the amateurs, Lamont Roach win his world title.
Yeah,
and I predicted the upset with Lamont winning, and I predicted Demetrius Andrade winning as well. So I was 1 for 2 on my prediction, but it was a card. I feel like from start to finish, it was a well put together card.
Yeah, Lamont Roach looked really good last night.
Amazing. So happy for him. I called him winning over here too, champ. Me too. I love him.
He's a beast. I've been seeing him since the amateurs. I always felt like he had what it took. So I'm happy to see him get it, especially after a layoff. And it's a lot of talented fighters that aren't able to reach that level. So I'm just happy to see one get there.
What do you make of the? Just it seems like the infinite offense of David Benavidez, though. Infinite offense.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, when they was in the ring, I did feel like Demetrius looked a little bit smaller than I thought he would be versus David. But you got to think David was once 300 pounds, so that's really a heavyweight that's draining down to 168. He's gonna everybody he gets in the ring with at 168. So. I mean, but that's not to take any credit away from him. He's a hell of a fighter. Like David Benavidez can go. He can fight. So
But let me also add that earlier this afternoon, man, we had the great legend James Lights Out Tony on here, and he said out of his mouth, man, that if Canelo doesn't fight Benavidez, it tarnishes his legacy. He needs to have that name on his resume.
You think he said that it tarnishes Canelo's legacy?
Yeah, he needs to see David Benavidez, man. It's one of those fights boxing's been calling for, and he'll get called on the carpet about it for the rest of his life. And
I mean, I feel like no matter what, the boxing community will never be just happy with what someone's done. Like Canelo could literally retire today. He's done that. He could retire today. Canelo's one of my favorite fighters, and Benavidez is a great fighter too. Like I definitely like watching them both fight. I would love to see that fight, but to say that his legacy is tarnished without facing the young up and coming lion when he was once the young lion. He fought many a champion. So if he retired today, I don't think his legacy is tarnished. I think it would leave a bad taste in some people's mouths. But at the end of the day, he's already in the history books. You can't take away what he already accomplished.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, a legend. Already a legend.
For sure.
Now, I got to ask, because this had to be cool. So, like, when your dad, when Pops actually knocks out Lennox Lewis, which was a great, satisfying moment for me, man, because even though I put Lennox high on my list of all-time heavyweights, I just did a top 3 where I had him extremely high, taking nothing away from Lennox, man. But there was something about when he was making that Ocean's 11 movie and smiling in that round right before your Pops knocked him out, where he was so smug that I was so glad to see him get a dose of some harsh medicine. How old were you when that happens?
And I was 5 years old, but I definitely remember it like yesterday. I was at someone's house watching it. They was all in South Africa, so I didn't get to go to that one. But I was 5 years old, man, and all I remember is seeing my dad throw the right hand, Lennox hit the ground, and then my whole family just jumped up. And mind you, I'm 5 years old, so I'm like this high, and everyone's jumping up. I kind of got trampled. Like I remember on that day. I was like, dang, like I know y'all happy, but like I'm his son. Don't kill me. You know what I'm saying? But I was definitely happy. That was life changing. I feel like just that fight alone he was able to, buy his mother a house, like do a lot of things, a lot of members, and change all of our lives forever. Even to,
That's real talk. That's
on the opposite side of that coin, champ. What was it like seeing your dad come home with that hematoma on his head from crashing heads with Evander Holyfield?
Holyfield gave him a fucking
and again, how old were you when that happened?
I was about like 7 when that happened, and it's crazy because you just mentioned Holyfield and James Toney. I'm watching their fight literally on my TV right now. I'm in this 6th round, and but like I just like to study old fighters. But when that happened, honestly, I was scared. I was only like 7, so that was around the time when Men in Black came out, right? You remember the little roach thing that would eat people and become body. I thought that's what happened to my dad because he had this thing on his head, and I'm 7 years old. So I was when I first saw him, I was scared to come up to him, and that probably felt terrible. Now that I'm looking back on it, but I didn't understand that. I was 7 years old.
Dad needed to get some ice on that, man.
Yeah, I was also a child, so I don't really remember it either. But I recall it. I definitely remember, seeing it.
I want to give revenge for that too because Holyfield has a son. His name is Evan Holyfield, right? He fights my weight, and I would love to fight him. I would love.
We get Rock My Holyfield again, man. Come on.
Yeah, we get a A1 call out here on the podcast.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Little Rockman, little Holyfield.
Yeah.
Get it. Let's get it.
That'd be crazy, right?
Hell yeah. People love nostalgia. That's got to be pretty cool, though, right? Like, he's my son, man. But goddamn it, son, I'm sorry that I never became the 2-time heavyweight champion. Goddamn, that's a lot to live up to, man. When your pops is rolling as the 2-time heavyweight champ, shit.
Right. So now I have to be undisputed or multiple divisions or something like that to be able to talk my trash at the cookout family reunions.
Big shoes to fill.
Well, where are you right now, man? I mean, Box Rexx got you at super welter. Is that where you are? 154?
Yes, sir. I turned pro at 168, and I was top amateur at 178. So I'm a bigger guy. Naturally, I walk around about like 175. but I make 154 with ease. I figured out some things. I was in a training camp with some real good nutritionists, and I learned a couple of things, a couple of strategies to kind of, make myself make weight. And in today's day and age, no one's fighting at the weight that they're walking around at. All these people that fight at 130, they're walking around 150. They fight
I know. We're hearing that a lot.
Yeah. So I got with the program. I wanted to become a weight bully. Now all these people at 154 is handy to me.
You bring up the terminology, and I was actually going to go there and ask you, because that's something that we hear a lot, boxing fans, boxing groups, things like, and Benavidez, we talked about him. He's somebody specifically that's been noted as a quote unquote weight bully. And I'm just curious, what do you think about that, being that you calling yourself a weight bully? Do you think that that's really a real thing, or those guys, you know what I mean? Because you're saying everybody doing it, so it's not like it's just a couple guys.
Part of the game, right? Part of the game.
I mean, it's kind of like there's pros and there's cons to it, because if you don't really know the science behind rehydrating yourself and even the nutrition that you need throughout training camp, if you don't really know what you're doing, it can come back to bite you in the ass. Like, fight. A lot of fighters go in there and then their excuse after, oh, I was drained, I had a problem making weight, I didn't hydrate, I was this and that. Like, if you don't know what you're doing, then you're actually putting yourself at a disadvantage losing all that weight.
It can be harmful.
Yeah.
You ever do like I was seeing something about this the other day. You ever do like water fasts or anything like that? I saw something about a water fast where like the second and third day you basically drink like bone broth, and like that's your only sustenance.
That sounds like torture, man.
Yeah,
for 7 days. But like the dude who did it, like he was built, but he had like, you could tell he had excess water weight. And after he did it, he was shredded though. I'm not gonna lie, he looked crazy.
Well, what was your pops doing? Your pops was over in South Africa, though. He got over there early, man, and adjusted to the altitude over there. But he was also on a religious fast himself, wasn't he?
Right. Yeah, he took it serious. No, for the rematch, he was fasting, and I believe that's why that had that as well, and why it went how it went. But as far as the fasting, I'm Muslim, so we fast every year, 1 month out the year for Ramadan. So that just means no eating or drinking while the sun is out. But as far as any other fasting, I can't do it because it's a mandatory 30 days a year for me to fast as a Muslim. So I don't fast any other time. I monitor what I eat. And like I said, I got some gems. I was taking notes the whole training camp when I was in camp with Maurice Hooker, getting ready for Virgil Ortiz, and he had perfect nutrition. Shout out to them. They're top nutritionists. They work with fighters like Crawford. Like that's who I got it from. So now I know what I'm doing as far as the hydration and stuff like that. I don't need to do no fast or nothing like that. You just got to work hard and monitor what you eat. People don't understand that everything you put in your body affects your body.
Sure. So, yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, I work in healthcare as a nurse by day too. So yeah, I put a lot of stock in what you're saying, man. And people
man, I was gonna say, I just like hearing it from somebody that's doing it. Cause look at me, man. I'm smoking weed. I'm drinking. I'm not.
Hey, champ, come on. There's nothing wrong with a little relaxing.
I'm not coming off the couch, champ. I'm not coming off the couch.
Well, first of all, it's his birthday today, man. It's his birthday today.
Oh, happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Appreciate that, man.
I know what you're thinking. How the hell can this guy?
29, man. 1 more year to 30. 1 more year.
Yeah, I know what you're thinking. How can this guy be so young and good looking and have a son that old, man? But it's happened, man. It's somehow happened. Your father probably thinks the same thing. Where's the time go? I mean.
Yeah. It flies by. Shit, I'm a father now, so I see it. I just feel like my babies were just babies, and now I got a first grader and a 5-year-old. My youngest is 5.
I was just looking at my daughter before I came out here, bro, thinking the same thing. Like, how she gets so big so fast.
Yeah, it goes by quick. Yeah. Now, so what's Pops doing post his boxing career? How's he staying busy these days? I'm sure the fans would love to get an update on what he's up to.
Honestly, he stays in the gym a lot. He got a lot of business ventures. He's always doing something. My dad's always on the go doing something. If he's not doing something business related, then he's in the gym helping out fighters. Just kind of like he loves the gym, so he just kind of hangs out there sometimes and just offer his advice and talk trash with people. It's almost like the barbershop. Like sometimes we just hang out at the gym.
Yeah. I'm sure, man. I'm sure growing up that obviously, man, he's your father. He's boxing. He's a big part of who you're looking up to. But are there other fighters when you were young though that you looked at as like idols or influences too? Putting dad aside, I mean.
Absolutely. Like my favorite fighters, like just my personal favorite from who I was introduced to when I was a little kid. So when like a few years after he won a title, we stayed in Baltimore for a little bit, but we ended up moving to Las Vegas. And even when we were still in Baltimore, I met Zab Super Judah,
Yeah, one of the greats. Yeah. New York's own. It's chalk one up for us.
Brooklyn, stand up.
Yeah.
That's my guy, man. I love Zab like an uncle. Like he's been there from when I was literally a little kid, and he's never switched up, never changed the way he treated me, always treated me great. He's a big part of why I treat kids the way I do. Like if a kid comes up to me after a fight or anything, like they want to autograph, anything like that, like I always take care of him, try to make him feel special, because that's how he made me feel like I was Lil Super, like he made. And then also Floyd Mayweather, of course, had a big influence. It's unfortunate how things played out in the end, but he was definitely a big influence in my life from probably the time I was like 10 to like 17, 18. And I looked at him as an uncle as well. I used to be in all the training camps, all in the gym all the time, watching him spar, watching him train, watching him run. We would go play basketball, 24-hour fitness. We would go to his house to just kick it. We would go to the fights. In the locker room, press conference and stuff. Like if you look up the Miguel Cotto fight, I'm literally behind him in a post-fight press conference.
Cool. That's cool.
So I got to pick up a lot of things from great fighters. I've been around a lot of great fighters, but those three for sure have the most influence. My dad, Zab Judah, Floyd Mayweather. That's for sure.
Zab, it's crazy you brought both of them up, but he didn't get the credit for it, man. But Zab's the only dude to sit Floyd down.
Right. Yeah. They didn't give a knock on that
glove touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The glove did touch, man. Shout out to Zab. Yeah. Well, you know what, man? I mean, and we talked about it on here before.
I gotta say, chilling at Floyd's crib must be the palace.
Yeah.
You gotta have the palace. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll definitely motivate you. Like, man, you can get something like this off of these.
Okay. Now, what was Dad like? Because what was Dad like at home? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times, like we see these guys in the ring and we think, that tough warrior, man, hard-nosed guy, man. What's he like behind the scenes, though, man? Like bringing you up, like as an actual pops.
Well, I mean, he instilled a lot of faith in us. Like he's a religious person. He made sure that we learned the Quran, we learned about our religion, that we learn how to pray and stuff like that. Keep that first and foremost. He's pretty family oriented. Like he looks like this big scary guy, but he's really I don't want to say like soft with children, but he has a soft side for children. You know what I'm saying? Like he cool with kids. So he was cool, man. It was of course he was strict. I can't just do anything. But I used to have this little thing where only person I had to listen to was my dad. Like if he tell me, I'm gonna do it. But anybody else, they couldn't really control me. I could do anything. But the minute they say, I'm gonna tell your dad, all right, I'll do what you want now. Like so it was very strict. Like I couldn't do certain things, but it was all for the better. Nothing over the top.
Yeah, and now you as a guy at 154 pounds, man, especially you got to be keeping a keen eye on what guys do, especially in your own weight class, man. Like I shoot out a couple names here. Give me your assessment of like these guys and what you're seeing now. At the present time, your record is 7-0 right now, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you're on the come up. So I imagine probably here pretty soon, you're going to start to want to be really stepping up the competition, and probably some of these guys will still be there. Now, what do you think about our esteemed champion right now, Tszyu?
Tszyu, I think he's a solid fighter. He's it seems like he has good power. Seems like he has a good gas tank, and I would love to fight him too, because Tszyu is the one who beat Zab for the first time.
Yeah.
That shit broke my heart as a kid, so I gotta with that too. So I would love to fight Tszyu as well.
What about Tszyu looked a little I don't know, he didn't look as good in his last fight, I thought. I mean, I know he defended the belt or whatever, but I didn't think he looked pretty one-dimensional.
Right.
I think there's something for a slick fighter to exploit there.
Exactly, but not only slick, they have to be tough because a lot of fighters nowadays, they're like one style or they're one way. Like you're either a slick fighter or you're a tough and rugged fighter or an aggressive fighter or you're a boxer or you're, like a stick and move guy. But I feel like I have all of those tools. So if I need to box, I'm going to box. If I need to brawl with you, if I need to step to you and walk you down, that's what I'm going to do. So I think it would take a combination of that. I think it would take someone with good feet to be able to move around, good stamina, to be able to keep moving for the whole 12 rounds, and also somebody that can get gritty with them when they need to, sit in the pocket and exchange, get in and get out, and kind of never let him get set, never let him get in his rhythm. You kind of just have to piece him up in and out. Of course, it's easier said than done, and I wouldn't want to give away my whole game plan versus anybody, but that's kind of how I would approach that fight if I was presented.
What about that tall drink of water that's camping out in that division, that Fundora kid? He's about 8 feet tall. We're fighting at 154 pounds.
Yeah, we just saw, he's coming off of a devastating knockout loss. So
yeah, he is.
Anybody can get got at any given night. It only takes one punch. I feel like I saw him fight my boy Erickson Lubin as well.
Oh, he's another guy I was going to ask you about.
Yeah, Lubin.
Erickson looked great in his last fight, though.
Yeah, he did. Man, Lubin's always been good. I remember in the amateurs, I came up with him as well. Lubin, but it's crazy because he used to fight like 130 in the amateurs. When he turned pro, he's just at 54.
Yeah, but the guy he just beat, though, Jesus Ramos, man, was really climbing up the rankings, though, man. And people were really talking about him.
And he took that fight over because really in the first half of that fight, he was really losing that fight. And then he came back and took over, I thought.
I think Ramos thought he was going to coast, man, and he let up off the gas, man, and Lubin kept working, man. Lubin kept working.
But I thought he was boxing well. I didn't think he was losing at first, really. I thought he was just kind of setting traps and keeping his distance, just picking when he wanted to fight in spots. But I think, I think that was a great fight. I've sparred both of them, and they're both good fighters as well. But like I said, I like my chances versus anybody at 154.
And how do you get into boxing? Is it just like a natural progression, man? Or like, do you at some point, like, were you planning on doing something else or playing another sport and you gravitated to boxing? I mean, obviously you were around it your whole life.
So when I saw my dad become the champion, that's when I knew that's what I want to be when I grow up. I knew that already.
Yeah.
And for 7 years after that. And he didn't let me go into the boxing gym until I was 12 years old. And then by then, I was ready to go full-fledged. I've been boxing ever since. But I did grow up playing sports. I played basketball and football. I always wanted to play baseball because I can hit pretty good. And but I never got a chance to play baseball. So I'm gonna put my son, he plays baseball, and hopefully get him to the MLB. But as far as boxing, like, it's not something that was ever like forced on me. He actually didn't want me to box. I had to beg him to let me box for 7 years straight until he took me to the gym. And my first day in the gym, he's like, okay, you want to box? We're going to see what you're made of. They put me in there with national champions to spar. They said, look, this how you stand. This how you throw a jab. This how you throw a right hand. Put your head on, get in there. Let's see what you got. And
wow.
The guys got the better of me. But the fact that I didn't quit, I didn't give up, and I was still trying my hardest to hit him the whole time. So I didn't land many shots, but I didn't go down. I didn't get hurt. Like, I was tough. They saw that, okay, he might be serious.
Yeah. Now, do you have a specific timeline, man? Like, I don't know how you manage your career or plot out what moves you're going to make, but do you have like a definitive idea in your mind? Like, okay, I want to be, fighting a top contender, or I want to be fighting for a title by this specific time.
Right. Yeah. So since I have 7 fights, I wanted to get at least like 8 to 10 more before I'm in a title fight. But the way that it's going and the way that boxing is now, you can get title shots even earlier than that, as we've seen. So all I'm doing is staying focused right now. I haven't fought in over a year because I had a contract situation to where I got kind of sat on the shelf and locked out. So, but I just recently, like about a week ago, signed a deal and got a release out of that. So I'll be fighting very, very soon. Like I said, I would love to fight Evan Holyfield. I think that's a good prospect to fight, up and coming, and we have the history. We can get a good build up, maybe do it over in Saudi Arabia, something like that. I think we can get a big fight going like that. So I would love that fight. And to be honest, man, I have a lot of experience. I was on the world championship team with Shakur Stevenson, Carlos Valderez, Charles Conwell, like people that were Olympians. We all boxed each other. We all came up. I've been taught the nationals and won national titles alongside Devin Haney, Shakur, all these people. And so I never slowed down. I've only been getting better all this time. It's just that I haven't really had many opportunities to show it, but that should change very soon.
Yeah. And so so is there like a timeline, or do boxers just kind of throw that out the window and just kind of play it by ear? Do you have a definitive amount of time in your own mind, like when you think, okay, man, this is when I want to be boxing until, and I don't want to go past this?
Right. Yeah, I always said that I would like to retire by 30, but being that I'm 27 now, I don't think that's realistic. I would say I want to be a world champion before I'm 30 for sure. Like I feel like in the next year, I'll get those remaining fights that I need to put me in title contention. Yeah. And then that's the remainder of that's with 2024. I should get the fights I need to get me up there in title shot contention, right? And then the next year after that, 2025, is when I plan on actually fighting for a world title, God willing.
And as a guy who's, I mean, I'm 50 years old. My son obviously is turning 29 today. You're kind of in that same age demographic. As somebody who's a little more probably tech savvy and more of a social media presence than an old fart like me, like what do you think when you see these guys coming into boxing? You know, these gimmick fights, these YouTube fights. Do you think they're good for boxing, or do you hate what this does for the sport?
I don't hate it. In a way, it is good for boxing because, like, for example, like the Jake Pauls and Logan Pauls and stuff like that, ASIs and stuff like that, they're all bringing new eyes to the sport of boxing. So, I mean, you have some salty boxers. Like, I will never hate on another man. I want everybody to eat. There's enough money printed on this earth for us all to have enough.
Amen.
And so, like, I'm not going to hate on them for doing that. Now, on another side, I've heard people's perspectives and I understand their point. They're like, oh man, we've been boxing, doing this and grinding for this long, and we don't get paid like that to fight a 4-round or 6-round. But at the end of the day, they built their platform on something else, and then they brought that over to boxing. So if you had a platform like that, you would get paid like that. Or if you just keep grinding and keep winning, you will get paid like that. But I think it's overall a good thing, you know, for boxing, because it brings a lot of people who are sports fans or YouTube fans or whatever, and then now they see it, and then now they want to keep watching it. Now they're like, okay, because a lot of times they'll have real fighters on the undercard sometimes, and then people will be waiting for the main event, but they see a fighter on the undercard that they like. Now they follow in that fighter's career. So I think that is overall a good thing for boxing. I'm not mad at it.
Where does boxing go, though? Because obviously, you know, at the end of the year here, and you make a good point with Saudi Arabia, like they seem to have the money and they seem to be able to put on phenomenal events. You know, I mean, from what we've seen so far, you know, I mean, Showtime's pulling the plug. We lost HBO, you know, several years ago, man. Where's boxing going to land? Is it going to be one of these platforms? Is it going to be all strictly pay-per-view? I mean, you know, where do we go? It always seems like boxing does eventually find a home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, honestly, my opinion, I think the Saudis are taking over. I mean, like, unlimited amount of money, and they're making promoters work with each other that haven't worked with each other in decades and stuff like that. So I think that money talks at the end of the day, because it's like if you have like Al Heyman and then you have like Bob Arum, right? Or let's say you have Oscar De La Hoya and you have like Mayweather Promotions or something, right? Some people, certain promoters who might not necessarily work with each other, but if the Saudis offer you an extra $5-10 million just to, you know,
sweeten the pot.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. So I feel like, honestly, I feel like it's heading in that direction. We're gonna see a lot more fights out there, and then that's gonna make people have to, like you said, buy pay-per-views and stuff like that. But I still think, well, we still have DAZN, you still have fights on what is it, ESPN?
Yeah, Plus,
Yeah. So I mean, there's still fights on TV, and it's boxing. It'll never die. It may have times where it's not as prominent, but it will never die. Boxing's been around for a long time. It's not gonna go nowhere because there's people who love boxing and they're gonna watch the fights.
Now, what about when you see an instance, you know, like just recently, we brought up on the last couple episodes about the WBC inserting Francis Ngannou in its number 10 spot, rankings wise. If you're a guy, a young guy like you, you're grinding, you're trying to scratch and claw up those ranks. Then this guy comes in and has one fight, which he doesn't even win, and suddenly he's leapfrogging guys who have probably been grinding and clawing and scratching their way up that ladder, just based on one fight. Seems a little unfair, no?
No, that does seem a little unfair. That's crazy to put him in the top 10. But it's just a money thing, It
is.
That's all. And boxing is the dirtiest business in the world.
Yeah.
So
you said something there.
Trust me. You can get anything you want. You can buy your way to a world championship.
Sure.
Like that.
I believe that.
You can make anything happen. I've seen fighters literally lose a fight, pay, and have the fight overturned. I've seen fighters that fight at 140, weigh in at 150, and slide the commissioner some money, and then now they put them on box records if they weigh 140. Yeah. I've seen and then that's not even getting into all the managers and
grittier stuff.
Yeah, so it's a dirty business, but fortunately I have experience in it, dealing with it, even from learning from my father, his good and bad, and going through my own experiences as a man, as a fighter. But I wouldn't change anything because the whole time I keep getting better. So the longer that they make me wait, the better I become, and the more shocked that the boxing world is gonna be when they see me. Because all my peers, they've gone on to become, well, not all of them, but majority of them. Like, look, Lamont just became world champion last night.
Yeah.
Like, Core, Devin, like all these people are they've blossomed into world champions already. And I'm kind of like, okay, I need to catch up. Like, I'm very happy for all of them. Like, it brings me joy to see them as world champions. But at the same time, I know I belong there as well.
You need to get there. Yeah.
It's just, you got to wait your turn. It's okay. Everybody has their turn,
Now, what was the best? Is there one piece or several pieces of advice that your father gave you that really resonated with you as you were coming up, on your own grind? Anything about this game that you really took to heart? Obviously, he's been up and down the road and probably been through some shit in this business.
Mm-hmm. Well, he just always let me know that it's not easy, not an easy way to find to feed your family. When you box, you know what you're signing up for. You can die in the ring. He wanted to make sure that I know what I'm getting myself into, and to know that it's not easy. It takes 10,000 hours of studying it, practicing it, and actually doing it to become great. So that kind of stuck with me for my whole life. I knew that this is not nothing easy. And another thing is, like, we were never allowed to quit, and we were never allowed to just go down. Like, as far as if somebody hits you, if you go down and you can't control it, okay. But if you take a knee, you're gonna get your ass whooped.
Yeah.
You don't just take a knee. You don't quit no matter what you're doing. Like, no matter what you're doing, I don't care if you're playing a video game. You quit, you can get your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? Like, so you don't just as far as having a heart, just making sure that you have the heart for this. That's just the main thing that he instilled in me, making sure that we knew what we were signing up for. So no matter what, like I said, anyone can get got. It's boxing, but you know what you're signing up for when you become a boxer. That's why I say that in order to be a boxer, you got to have some loose screws, because you know that one punch can not only end the fight but end your life.
Yeah.
So why would you want to choose that as a profession? But some people just say, fuck it, I'm gonna take my chances.
Yeah.
I'll get up out the way. Before they get me.
You're one of those guys with a loose screw. You're admitting it right here.
Hey, I'm a boxer, right? So
listen, man, I don't think you get through life, man, without a few of the screws loosening. There's no way. You know what I mean? You just can't do it, man.
Dude,
Everybody
my freaking phone died.
Oh, see that? Look who decided. Well,
conveniently,
look who decided to drop that kid. Huh?
It was on the charger and it died. How?
You see what technology does, man? You can't make excuses in there's no, as they said in that movie, there's no crying in podcasting. Come on, man.
Dude, I had it on the charger the whole time. I had to get out of my truck, run inside, throw it on the fast charger real quick so it turned back on. It was bugging.
See that?
I'm
That's
like,
him.
yo.
Hey, you see, that's him going through a lot on his birthday, man, to get back in this conversation with you, champ. You
I'm
see what
like,
I mean?
how long is this gonna take?
Yeah. But so, so getting back to what we're talking about, man. Obviously, your father was a heavyweight. Your brother's a heavyweight. You're a smaller, lighter guy. Like, what do you think are your best assets in the ring? I mean, like, what do you think you do well?
It's my IQ. And you can ask my brothers, my father. I also have a younger brother that boxes too, and he's really good. He's 16, and he's an amateur, but he's gonna be coming up soon. But it's my IQ. It's the fact that, like, I don't know. It's just and IQ and reflexes. My reflexes is something that you can't teach. I was blessed with really good reflexes, thank God. I have speed, I have power, and I have the ability to, like, identify what you do wrong and capitalize on it, so I can make adjustments. I think my biggest asset is the fact that I'm versatile as a fighter. I don't have just one style of fighting. If I need to box you, I'll box you. I fought everywhere from 147 to 178 and all across the world, so I know how to fight every style. I feel like I've seen every style there is to be in boxing, and I think it's just my ability to make adjustments. If I need to be aggressive, I'm aggressive. If I need to step back and tame the bull, then that's what I do. So I think it's my IQ overall. My IQ and reflexes, they have to be tied, because reflexes you can't teach. So my defense is pretty solid, and half of that is my reflexes. So but I would say my brain, because that's what sometimes you're gonna run into a fighter that's stronger than you. You're gonna run into a fighter that's taller than you. You're gonna run into a fighter that may be faster than you. He may be a boxer. He might be slicker than you. He might be more rough than you. You have to figure out a way to win.
And I like what you're doing there too, man, because you're copping to the fact that you're watching Holyfield, you're watching Tony. Yeah, that really shows that you're a student of the game. You know what I mean? Like you're watching, the elite level guys, and you're watching guys. That's interesting too, because you're watching guys. I assume to pick up their skills, because you're not watching guys in your own weight division watching those guys. Right.
Well, I watch a lot of boxing. I watch boxing all the time. I don't know why I decided to watch this fight today. I don't know. I just remember it being a really good fight, and I want to see exactly how James Toney broke him down. I wanted to. Sorry, I got it.
That's all right.
I wanted to see exactly how James Toney broke him down, and I'm watching that, and I like what I see, and it's funny because my dad fought both of these guys, so I'm probably gonna watch their fights next versus my. And but I like to watch all kind of boxing, and old school boxing. That's what I grew up watching. That's what I grew up around. So I like to take little tips and tricks. Even though one man's a winner and one man's a loser, I can learn something from both of them. I can take it.
Well said.
Point. I can use that, and make it my own.
Yeah.
I just pick up new tricks.
One thing I was thinking last night when I was watching Jimmy Lennon Jr. announce for the last time Benavidez and then Andrade. Is that something that, like, because HBO boxing and Showtime boxing, like you and me are probably around the same age, at least similar age.
Yeah.
That's like some shit I grew up on. Like it's just nostalgic to me. It's sad hearing Jimmy Lennon Jr. announce for the last time. Like,
yeah, we talked about where boxing was going to land, Benji's. That was when you were scrambling around for your dead phone.
Yeah. I'm sorry.
Hold on, man. You got on what kind of jersey is that you got on?
Stephon Diggs.
They lost today.
I'm sure they did.
Overtime loss.
He's sure they did.
It was a good game though.
No, I'm just playing. Hey, Josh Allen's a beast. I'm not even gonna hate on the Bills. I don't really like them as a team, but Josh Allen's a hell of a quarterback. So I'm not gonna hate on the Bills, but it's Ravens over anybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm an upstate New York guy. I mean, I know you're a Baltimore guy, so I mean, I respect it. It is what it is.
Yeah, you got to stay loyal to your. So
yeah. And so, your upbringing, man. What was your upbringing like? Like, were you like a guy who, I know Pops is trying to raise you strict. Certainly raising you to be spiritual. But how early on did you kind of get a feeling, man, that you have some fighting ability? Are you a kid that got in any street fights?
Man, I had 100 street fights growing up, and I mean that's not even including the ones with my family, like my cousins and my big brother. I mean, you gotta think my big brother's 5 years older than me. He was always bigger, So I always had to fight him. When I was little, I couldn't do anything. Like, he would just toughen me up. He would just beat on me until I get tougher and tougher. Eventually, I started fighting back. And then that made me a hell of a fighter, because now he put me through a certain amount of, like, my pain tolerance is high. He put me through a certain amount of pain to where, and it's not like he was like abusing me. He would just beat me up to the body and stuff like that. Just
big brother stuff.
Yeah, you know, and just toughen me up. So now when I go to, it's always been like, I'm used to fighting my brother. So now when I fight someone my size, my age, it's like, you can't really hurt me because I'm used to being hit much more power than you can generate. So I just, and when I was a kid, I liked to fight. I was the trouble child. I was the one that always got in trouble. I wasn't a bad kid, but I just didn't tolerate disrespect from anybody. So if you said something disrespectful to me, whether you were an adult or not, I would say something back disrespectful. And if you put your hands on me or anyone that I love, then we gotta fight. Like, I
respect that. Yeah.
I'm much more level-headed and mature now, but I still ride for my family the same way. Like, I could never see someone do something, harm any of my family members, and me not do something immediately. Like,
that's real.
No, I love that. I love that saying and that sentiment. We got to fight, because like there's certain situations where no matter what they said or what they did, we got to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, it just don't matter. We got to fight.
Yeah.
And then then he's going to get his dad. Jesus Christ, when he's a kid, man, imagine you're going to get your dad and it's Hasim Rahman. That's fucking crazy right there, man.
I love pulling that car when I was a kid. And like, sometimes I'd be talking to a grown man and they'd be like, "What?" And I'd be like, "I'll call my dad." They'd be like, "Call your, don't care." All right, fine. I'm calling him. He get there in 5 minutes. He pull up.
Clips.
Oh, no, champ. I was just telling the youngster.
Yeah, I do that too.
I don't want no problems. So that was hilarious. Like,
your dad was one of those guys too, man.
We was just talking about that with Devin Alexander the other night, about how like people like Chop Corley or somebody who don't got a great record, but they still beat up your neighbors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
we'll still beat up the average dude. Yeah. Well, you know, and you know, obviously a lot of guys that are heavyweights are, you know, obviously they're all north of 200 pounds. They're all big guys, man. But, you know, there's a difference between being big and then being big and scary, man. Like, your dad was a big, scary heavyweight. You know what I mean? He was, for real.
Right.
You know, he's one of those guys, man, like, you know, you look at him and you like, no, man, okay, man, like, this is like a heavyweight fucking boxer right here, man. This is the real deal right here. You know what I mean? Like, and I mean, for God's sakes, man, nobody gave him a chance in South Africa, man. He was a 20-1 underdog. I just did a top 3 list on our Facebook page of my biggest boxing upsets. I only put that one as number 2, man, because obviously Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson was huge.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, that just wasn't supposed to happen at all, man. But I mean, but your dad knocking out Lennox Lewis was just not supposed to happen, man. But when I tell people, if you want to see a perfect straight right, man, that one that pops through that night, man, that was a jaw cracker right there, man.
That punch would have put anybody down.
Anybody, yeah, to sleep.
Yeah, that was a crazy.
But again, man, your pops took it seriously, though, because you got to make an adjustment, man. That fight was in South Africa. A lot of people might not know that, man, but there's altitude and climate issues and everything. And Lennox, like I said earlier, was making a cameo appearance in the new Ocean's 11 movie. And I think, quite honestly, he was looking past your pops a little bit.
Oh, yeah. You know he thought he had that one in the bag already.
You can't do that. Yeah. You can't look past somebody.
Especially not a heavyweight.
No.
Any grown man.
Yeah.
Right.
Even in a street fight, champ, how you gonna go out there and just be like 100% confident? You don't know what you know.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, like, it just is what it is. It's a grown man.
Yeah, but I like my chances in street fight versus anybody.
Yeah,
I mean, I would bet.
You kind of have to.
Of course.
Because I had more street fights growing up than I still to this day than I had boxing matches. I had like 50 amateur fights and I got 7 pro fights. So I had way more than that growing up, street fights. But I don't just go around looking for fights. I try to avoid them. But if I have to, then I still know.
Yeah, but a lot of that is too knowing how to harness that energy, you know what I'm saying, and not be like all over the place.
Yeah, that's big.
No.
I got a friend like that though, dude, who just and he never boxed, man. Shout out to Harry. He's one of those guys that just had an innate ability to just street fight. Not the biggest guy, was probably never more than what you're weighing right now, man. But I've seen him put down guys twice his size. Just this, and it's probably sad that he never did harness it, man, because he probably could have been a hell of a boxer, man. But just anybody in the neighborhood, man, had to come see him at some point. I don't know, just one of those things.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight; it's the size of the fighting dog.
That's
if
true.
You got fighting spirit, if you got the fighting spirit, and you just have that fire in you, and it's a fight, it's a street fight. When it's a street fight, there's no rules. So
right.
At the day, if I gotta fight Deontay Wilder, then okay, I'm tackle him. I can hit him with something. You know what I'm saying? I can do a bunch of different things. Like
you might bite his ear like Mike Tyson.
I'm not calling out Deontay Wilder for the fade right now. I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
But then if I had to, somebody of that stature, or even him, if I had to, like if Deontay Wilder walk up to me and just slap me, I think I'm just
grab the nearest brick.
Because even if you say you knock me out, right? At least you're gonna feel something though. I'm gonna bust your eye, your nose, your lips.
Yeah,
something.
you have to. Yeah.
Yeah.
So actually, in the vein of Deontay Wilder, and just because we're talking about that kind of bullshit fight, like what about Charlie Zelenoff, man? You ever hear of him? he got his head taken off by Wilder.
Charlie, man, the greatest fighter, the 155-0.
The real GOAT. Yeah.
Yeah. The one who he said he knocked out Wilder.
Yeah. I'll tell you what his move is though, man. He goes to them gyms, man, and the minute he taps gloves with you, man, he winds up and cracks you with that straight right. If you get past that, man, he's got nothing beyond that.
He'll slap you up. It's funny.
He's tired. Yeah. And guys try to run him down too, man. I mean, he does like to start a lot of feuds.
Wilder cracked him though.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, Wilder hurt that man. He did.
Yeah. Well, but he did go personal with it though, man. You know what I mean? He did start bringing family members into it. And you said about that earlier, man. You know, you ride or die for your family. You know what I mean? Like, you know.
Wilder's daughter's in a bad way. He shouldn't have brought that up at all.
Never. You don't go there, man. Yeah. You don't do it.
I mean, you still have to be classy. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, but is somebody clearly he's not mentally all there. But as far as like a boxer telling another boxer some stuff like that, like there's a level of trash talking to where when you go to a certain level that's too personal, now it's like you can't really undo that. Like you should still be you should still have class. You shouldn't reach below the belt. Like
that ain't all in good fun.
Their mothers, their wives, their kids. You don't really. But at the same time, some of the most classic boxing matches have came and people done talked about, you know, their wives, mothers, kids, all kind of things. So, you know, if it happens, it happens. But I'm not really the type to go there. But if someone goes, like I said, I'm always gonna reciprocate energy. So if you come at me with that, of course I'm gonna have to come back at you with that because we're fighting. It's still mental warfare as much as it's physical. So, but I'm not the type to just sit there and go call out somebody because at the end of the day, me and you gotta fight. What are you worried about? Him, her?
Yeah.
That don't mean nothing. And a lot of fighters will just do that to try to get in your head and make you be riled up and come to the fight super aggressive, gas yourself out, fighting with emotions.
Well, some guys, man, get a little crazy, man, and their dads get involved. That can get annoying sometimes too, man. The dads start throwing their hat in the ring more than the fighters do.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot of times.
Some of them dads get wild, and it's just crazy now. Like seeing those Fury boys. God, their father can't wait to get in there. He wants to throw a challenge out to Mike Tyson every time you turn around. Stop it already.
It's a lot of the fathers. They didn't accomplish what they wanted to accomplish, and then they live vicariously through their sons.
You
said it. Yeah, that's not healthy.
Cameras their time. They feel like it was 20 years ago. Like now, it just came late. Now it's their time. Like they look at it like I made you, so now no you. So this is my time just as much as your time. That's how a lot of.
Not to call out anybody specifically, but Bill Haney.
Yeah, chill on Bill Haney. That's my guy. But one thing about Bill Haney though, he really like I watched I had a picture of me and Devin winning our first national title together, the Junior Golden Gloves. I was 16. He was like 14.
Yeah.
He was, and so I've known him for a long time. And Bill, he's been there every step of the way. He single-handedly made sure, like, even before any of the fame or any of that, he was always like that about his son. It's just there's a lot of media now, and I mean, it's a new world. Like, let's be honest, social media is way more popping nowadays than it used to not even exist. You know, Bill was Devin's age, right? So it's like now it's like I see shit pop up on my timeline and getting into it, but nobody's perfect. But I think overall, what that man did with his son is something that we should applaud, because he single-handedly took him to all them tournaments, got him all the experience, took him all around the world, all around the country, sparring different people, and got him ready. He literally like groomed that kid to become a man and become a champion so early. He did a lot, and that's respectable as a father. So
he did level up a A-class fighter. You know,
A-class. Actually, we just did a show last night, man, about a good kind of profiling that fight, man. And of course, at the end, we always do our predictions. And I can't see him losing to Regis Prograis, man. I don't think he knocks Prograis out, man, but I think he boxes himself to a nice, comfortable decision, though, for sure.
Yeah. But like, Regis get frustrated. Regis is gonna be pressing. And I honestly think it may be a little similar to that last Shakur fight, like to where he just kind of keeps the distance, and it may not be as action-packed as people expect, because Regis is gonna come try to bring the fight. But which I feel like in the beginning he's gonna try to show that he can box with him. He's gonna try to show that he's slick, but then he's gonna eventually have to try to step to him, because he's not faster, he's not sharper on the out, he's not longer, he's not the pause. But he's not, he does. I don't feel. But I just feel like as far as the reach and stuff like that, like he's not gonna be able to just box Devin on the outside. He's gonna have to try to get inside. And Devin is a master of get in, get out. And if you get in too close, wrap you up, break back to moving on my bicycle. So I don't think he'll have a real chance to get off like that. I think Devin goes to an easy unanimous decision.
Not to get too far off topic, but you saying pause is mad funny, because I'm a New Yorker, and I know you watch football because you brought it up. You ever hear like Chris Collinsworth and Troy Aikman? They got some wild takes on shit. I mean, really, saying some crazy shit.
That should be popping up on my feed sometimes. It's a lot of pause-worthy quotes out there.
Yeah.
But
he said one the other day, and I don't even want to say it on air, but I'm gonna say it just to tell it to you. But he said the hole opened up, and Kelsey jammed right through it. I was like, yo.
Yeah, that's a poor choice of words. Come on, man. This is family TV here, man. Jesus Christ, kids are watching these games, man. I mean, you can't be And then you got to explain that to your 5-year-old dad. What does that mean?
Hey, y'all ever watched the the rappers Cameron and Mace? They got their podcast going.
Oh, they have a podcast together?
Is it a podcast? Technically, I think you can consider it. That's like a show podcast.
Yeah.
But man,
I loved Mace.
Yeah, and they used to have a little beef. They kind of squashed it, and those two are hilarious together. So I like
Cameron is funny.
Yeah, but what about Mace though? Didn't Mace like stop rapping and become like a minister?
Yeah, that's what I heard back in the day.
A while?
Oh, I don't really know. I was young when all that stuff was going on.
Now, so when is your next fight, man? Let's put the shine on you, man. Like, what do you got popping coming up?
So I don't have a scheduled fight. Like I said, I just got out of the contract that I was kind of sat me on the shelf for a year.
Yeah.
But I won next. Holyfield. I won it in Saudi Arabia. It's been talked about, but it's nothing on paper, nothing official. Of course, I'm with it. You don't gotta ask me twice. I want to fight him. So
how old is Holyfield's son, man? Do you know? Is he about the same age as you?
Yeah, he's 20-something.
You don't know how much we appreciate you coming out here and starting a little trouble, man. We love a little irreverence, man. You know what I mean? Like, I think boxing loses that sometimes, man. Everybody's got to be all buddies and each other up.
Right. Nah, I feel you, but I'm saying I'll fight anybody. I don't care. If you need a fight at 154, you know somebody, they a hot prospect coming up, whatever. Yeah. I don't care. I've been fighting top fighters for a long time. I might not have fought top fighters in my pro career yet. I have one guy with a winning record on there. But at the same time, you look at majority of the great fighters in their first 10, 15 fights, they don't really fight nobody. It's not my fault I ain't fighting nobody. I take whoever they give me. Right. I wanted to Harvard Jr. We were supposed to fight like 3 times. He always say yes, and then when it's time to sign, he always say no. I wanted to fight Tarver Jr. I chased him for so long, I just gave up on that. But Evan Holyfield, I haven't really tried to make a fight with him. But now that's what I want, because someone bug in my ear saying that's something that may be able to come to fruition. So I'm like, let's do it. I'll press for it because I want that fight. I want to do that fight because, for one, we both get to see who gets to go to the level as a prospect. Yeah. And then at the same time, I get to avenge one of my father's wrongful losses. Like, you know, so I feel like that's something that could be big. And if they promote it right, you can have our dads on the flyer, have our dads in the promo, have us in the promo, you know, back and forth or whatever. Because I'm a fighter, man. I'll fight anybody. I don't care. But that's the fight I want, because I feel like that would be a big fight. And I know all these names that I named, all these people that I came up with, Tank, Shakur, Devin, Zab Judah, Floyd, all these people would be tuned into this fight.
Oh, yeah.
Fight. All of them are going to be tuned in.
Yeah.
I think that's a big fight that could get us both the most money that we've ever made in our career to this point. And it's also a stepping stone. And you get a chance to beat another fighter to where the son of a champion, you're the son of a champion. Like, I just feel like it's a no-brainer. So I'm with it on my side. Whether he takes the fight or not, that's going to be on him and his father. But I would hope that they believe that they could beat me, because fight me. I'm off, right? I haven't fought in just like a year and a half. Like, I'm coming off a layoff. So I'm coming off a layoff because I'm rusty, right? I got ring rust and all that. And I'm, to be honest, I'm not that good. Look at my record. I ain't fought no. Fight me.
Easy pickings, Evan.
Yeah, come on. You gonna get a payday. You're gonna get the most money that you made in your career so far. So let's do it and get me. Like I said, I'm coming off a layoff. It really is the perfect time to.
And one thing I'm happy that you said, though, man, is about running down Tarver Jr. and finally giving up, man, because we're used to running down Tarver, too. Tarver iced us one night. We were trying to run him down to get him on the podcast. Tarver Sr. He owes us.
A guy who I personally am a big fan of. I like Tarver.
We'll get him eventually, man. But Jesus, man, it's all about running down these Tarvers, man.
Yeah. I mean, Tarver's cool, but I loved Roy Jones growing up. So Tarver.
Oh, who didn't, man? Yeah.
So, like, it's not a personal thing. I don't have nothing against him. I respect what he did. You know, he's a solid fighter and a champion. But I'm not a fan of Tarver.
Come on, champ. I'm coming out there looking Roy in the face and saying, "You got any excuses tonight, Roy?" And then knocking him out.
Though. Not gonna lie.
That's a cold move.
That might be the coldest banter ever in boxing history.
Yeah. And then especially since he backed it up, dude, and he did get Roy out of there fast that night.
That's cold.
Yeah.
That is
that's cold to come out and back it up, man. But dude,
I'm not gonna lie though. You heard it here on Off the Couch Boxing first. The champ and Evan Holyfield, let's get it. I'm thinking back to Chris Bird on the podcast. Just wants to fight everybody.
I know. He wants to come back. Let's get it. I know. Right. That should be everybody's slogan. That should be every boxer's mantra. Let's get it. Right.
Right. Yeah. But these old fighters don't need to keep fighting, man. I don't really condone these old.
No, you're right. I do worry about these guys from my generation.
Chris Bird really seemed like he wanted bad.
Yeah, but not at heavyweight.
We had him on here.
But ask they want it. You know what I'm saying? Ask his loved one. Ask his mom, does she want it, or his wife, or you know what I mean? I don't know his situation, but I don't,
you make a good point though. Yeah.
I'll respect, but I'm just saying, like, ask his loved ones who care about him, who they want him to fight. Because of course, why not? That's, as a fighter, especially most fighters, that's all you ever know. That's your only real stream of income throughout your life. That's the only thing really know how to make a living off of. So you see people doing it, and you're gonna get the itch. If you're a real fighter, then you're gonna always want to fight. But it has to be somebody that loves you and cares about you, that tells you, like, look, man, you already had an amazing career. You did great things. You have nothing left to prove. So if you did fight, it would be solely to make some money. But I don't think that the health factors are worth the money.
Yeah, and I'm not.
I got to know before you get him. We like let him go or whatever. Did you talk about like the gimmick fights? Did you ask him about the gimmick fights when I was gone?
Yes. Yeah. See what I mean, man? It pays to keep the phone charged, man. I mean, you know what, man? It must be a generational thing. My phone never dies.
It's on the charger.
Yeah, my phone never dies. You know what, man? But I'm not very popular, though. So, I mean, I got no reason for it to die. That's probably sad that it never dies.
It's my birthday, man. Everyone's in my Facebook talking.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I got to say, though, man, I got to say, if there's ever a Rahman family movie, though, man, I could see Michael B. Jordan, man, playing you.
Absolutely. Not actually a good take. I'm not going to lie.
People say that all the time. I'm trying to get in a movie with Michael B. Jordan. So what's up?
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, keep yourself in shape, man, because when Michael Jordan has to bow out or he needs an understudy for those Creed movies, you're in, man.
Yes, sir.
And still, that Fruitvale Station movie is one of the most elite movies of all time.
Great.
I don't care about nothing. That's one of my favorite movies.
But here's the problem, though, man. Who plays your pops, though, man? Whew. I almost insulted James Toney today, man, because I said if they made a James Toney movie that Rampage Jackson would have to play him. He didn't like that too much, though, I don't think.
Nah,
man.
He didn't like that at all.
He rubbed him the wrong way, man.
He didn't like that.
In Ali, he played Frazier in Ali, right? James Toney did.
James Toney did play Joe Frazier in the Ali movie alongside Will Smith, though. Yeah, he did.
All right, so, I mean, I don't get why it'd be a problem, but
I don't think Will Smith's slap was Ali worthy. I'm not going to lie.
No. I mean, nobody's really Ali worthy, though, man. It's almost like how dare anybody even try to mimic the man, you know?
Right. Yeah, that's the goat right there.
I guess we'll just have to roll it around. You know,
speaking of Ali, I'd fucking fight Nico Ali Walsh too.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
The Rahman Ali matchup, that would be great.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. But man, a lot of these fighters just say they will fight.
You don't want it.
I almost think, you know what, Chip? I almost think social media, though, has made guys easier to be tough guys from a long distance away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Rolly, Ryan Garcia.
Everybody's a Twitter.
I don't want to get crazy, but we know what we talking about.
I'll fight Rolly, bitch ass too. Sorry, excuse my language, but he
sucks.
No, please give it to us.
He sucks.
He said some different things about my family. I would shred down to 147 to fight Rolly.
Well, there you go.
147.
Yeah, I like that. You know what? I like that one, champ, because he's got a belt right now. That's interesting.
And he got the bullshit stoppage too.
Yeah, he did.
That wasn't even real.
I don't see how you even get knocked out and even have the opportunity to fight for a title right after that anyway. And then you lose to the old man, and they just it's money talks. Like I said, you can buy yourself a world title.
Yeah, you were right about that. You run the money about that.
Title.
Well, listen, man, champ, I got to tell you, man, this has been one hell of a fucking fun interview right here, man. We had a good time with you tonight, man, even though Benji's dropped off the planet for a little while. I started to get worried about his reception because he's a little more out. He's a little more out in bumfuck, man, where his connection goes a little bit crazy, man, sometimes, man.
We came back, though.
You came back strong. Yeah, you did came back strong, man. But please, man, give our best to the family, man, and have a happy holiday if we don't talk to you again. But definitely keep in touch. We'd love to have you back on from time to time.
All right, I appreciate you guys, man. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
Yeah, tell Pops get with us.
Yeah, tell Pops get with us, man. You got the contact information. That would be an honor, man. I mean, an honor.
I got you. I'm gonna relay the message. I appreciate it.
Please do, man. Please do. It was a pleasure getting the chance to talk to you, man. And stay in touch. We'll do it again sometime down the road, man, for sure.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Best of luck with everything, champ. Best of luck, man.
Appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, we appreciate you. Thank you, man.
All
right, later, man. Wow, good kid, man. Good kid, man. I like him, man. I'd like it. Damn near win a freaking hour with him, man.
Yeah.
Good lordy. That's
he had a lot of knowledge, though. A lot to talk about.
I know. I was wondering why I was carrying the conversation. Where the hell you went to? I just sent you a series of question marks at one point, man.
Yeah,
I started to think maybe it was a technical glitch, and I was literally, when you pop back on, starting to get ready to wrap the thing up, and then we went about another 25 minutes.
Well, I honestly was sitting here and like I told you, I was like, what the fuck? Like, how'd my shit die on the charger?
Yeah.
So then I'm sitting there letting it charge and it's not seemingly working fast enough.
Yeah.
So I got a fast charger, an iPhone fast charger inside. So
Yeah.
I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to just run inside really quick, throw it on the fast charger, get it turned on.
Well, I got to say, man, that kid was a absolute, and I guess I shouldn't be calling him a kid. He's damn near in his fucking, he's in that damn near. He's in his early 30s, man. But to me, man, that's a sign of getting old, man. I'm starting to look at guys that age as a kid. But I don't want to tarnish the fact that even though the interview was all about him and putting some shine on him, man, his dad was that dude, man. At one point, if you walked this earth and could call yourself the heavyweight champion, don't matter how long you did it, you done something. And if anybody out there is down with us and checks us out on Facebook and sees our installments of a three-punch combo, which is usually just a quick top three, it's usually a Facebook reel. I just did one, man, and that was my number 2 on my biggest boxing upsets. You can't put anything above Buster Douglas and Mike Tyson. You just can't. But at number 2, I had Hasim Rahman fucking up Lennox Lewis, South Africa, 2001. It was a big upset, man. It was a big, and I mean, to beat Lennox Lewis, who I had on a previous list, is my number 2 all-time heavyweight behind Ali.
Right.
You know what I mean? So Hasim Rahman, yeah, I remember being at my mother-in-law's house and laying on the couch. I was the only one up in the whole house, man. About midnight one night, watching an HBO card, and boom, there it was. I'm just thinking, there's another fight where Lennox Lewis fucking jabs and fucking straight rights some dude to fucking death all night, man. And I'll be completely honest, man. I mean, I followed boxing, as heavily as I do now, man. But Hasim Rahman, man, no matter how much knowledge that you had, he was not a guy that was supposed to come in that night and certainly not KO Lennox.
Absolutely not.
In dramatic fashion, man, with a beautiful right hand, man. So kudos to and I might be buttering the bread a little bit in hopes of getting pops on here, man. But even if I wasn't trying to sweeten the pot a little bit, though, man, it was a beautiful straight right hand. And Lennox, about 2 seconds before that, had dropped his hands and was kind of doing some kind of, I don't know, smiling. He was very content with himself.
Hey,
no goddamn reason.
If I was alive, I wasn't old. But I've seen the highlight of it.
Yeah. Well, 2001. Yeah. I mean,
I've seen it.
And when you get cracked by a right hand like that, man, or you can crack a guy the stature of Lennox Lewis, you've done something
like that. Yeah.
Yeah. And obviously, man, he's bringing 2 sons along through the business, Hasim Rahman Jr. and our guest tonight, SHARIF Hasim Rahman. Great kids, 7-0. 4 knockouts. This kid's just getting going, man. I'm glad to be along for the ride, man. Team Rahman.
Yep.
I was Team Rahman, though. I got to say, though, even in those Lennox Lewis matches.
Because you know what? Above all else, he was a nice guy.
American.
Personable,
I was talking about Hasim against Lennox, but I mean, yes.
No, his son, SHARIF, though, is intelligent.
Yeah, great kid.
Personable, humble.
Yeah.
Nice guy.
Yeah. That was certainly a fun interview, man. And look out, man. I like the fact that, again, there was a little irreverence, man. I mean, if we can go back and just review, just give people a capsule version, man.
Get with him, Evan Holyfield.
He called out Evan Holyfield.
Don't be pussy.
And then he also he talked about running down Tarver Jr. He didn't want the static. And who was the last one he was just bringing up? Oh, Rolly.
Oh, yeah, Rolly. Oh.
Yeah. And come on, man.
He said, I'll fight Rolly, bitch ass, right now.
Yeah, that was strong.
Rolly, I mean, I know I'm on the couch, but, dude, like, looking from off the couch when watching boxing, Rolly sucks. He's a weak champion.
Yeah. Don't give out my address. I don't need him coming here making trouble for me.
Address. He ain't doing none of that shit.
No, I'll get off the couch right now and deal with Rolly if he's at my front door by myself.
You probably would,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah, and I don't get off the couch for much.
No, you probably would.
Although I will say, man, that it's been a Herculean effort these last couple episodes because I am suffering with one of the worst toothaches, and you never know it. That's the level of professionalism here on Off the Couch Boxing through the roof. Which is why everybody maintains a friendship with the show. I mean, what's not to love?
They love us, man.
Yeah, insight, expert analysis. Expert why? Because we say so.
Devin Alexander the other night calling us the best duo.
Yeah, that's high praise right there, man. Yeah, that's high praise. I don't know if that means more to me, though, man, than James Lights Out Tony telling us to have a lights out holiday season.
I mean, that is A1.
Yeah. Alexis Arguello, man.
But Alexis Arguello, what's he got to say?
Alexis Arguello still can't stop smiling from the fact that James Toney said that was one of his biggest idols right there.
Oh,
remember?
Yeah, of course. I mean, why wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's excited.
High praise, man. High praise. You haven't stopped smiling all night, have you? Fucking chooch.
He's smug. He looks smug about it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Don't let it go to your head, man. Don't let it go to your head. James is our friend, dude. James is our friend, man. Dude, what are you just lighting up a new one?
Yeah. No, rest in peace, Alexis Arguello, though.
I want to go and get some too, man. Are you gonna call me, man?
He was a fucking beast, though.
Yeah. You ever see his record?
Yeah. Ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah. I think one of us has to look it up right now and just shout it out.
Animalistic dude.
I'm gonna try to do it. I'm gonna try to do it for the folks out there, man. Just because I want them to say geez, why the hell?
Appreciate Alexis Arguello and appreciate the fact that James Toney was also a big fan.
85 total fights, and this man didn't waste time with draws or no contest. Everything was clear cut. That's how they did it back in the day. 85 fights, 77 wins, 8 losses,
ridiculous.
62 knockouts.
62 KOs is more wins than Andre Ward, even double the wins Andre Ward even had.
Absolutely, man. God bless the Nicaragua Nightmare. And I don't even think he was called that. I'm just calling him that.
No, that's what he is.
Yeah. Nobody wanted to see that, man. So if you're just lighting up a new spliffy, I would like to join you. So let's wrap this little soiree up.
Yeah, no, I'm going to say like and subscribe on YouTube. Hit the fucking bell. Get the notifications. Stop playing games with yourself and get with the podcast. It's literally like there's like 2 things you could do in a day. You could not do it, or you could just do it and be happy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. You could scratch your boxing itch. You could get your beak wet a little.
Find us on Facebook as well at Off the Couch Boxing.
Yeah.
He's on there as Rex Ruger. I'm on Facebook as Frank Bengz. Guess what? We're on all social medias. Find us on all of them. And I will quote our great American poet, Gary Busey, by saying that I can go 15 seconds with anything.
And I will remind all the young children, the youth of America out there, the secret to championship level performance. If you want to be a champion, kids, then you have got to tune into Off the Couch Boxing and roll with the champ. Peace.